Hello, this is West Yorkshire Sport. I'm Katherine Hannah. We are building up to Leeds United at home against Birmingham City this weekend. Adam Pope, our Leeds commentator, here with me. Team news is going to be interesting. What on earth does he do with the defence after last Sunday's debacle?
Makes a change, doesn't he? Liam Cooper surely has to come back in. Giuseppe Bellucci culpable for a lot what went wrong in the first half in particular. I know Sol Bambo was at fault for the last one as well, but I think dropping your captain wouldn't be the best move. So that'd be me if I was picking the team. Otherwise, they didn't do too much wrong, to be fair, despite the scoreline suggesting otherwise.
Will Buckley is now officially signed for Leeds United 93-day emergency loan, so will he start?
He hasn't had much game time, has he, at all? He's had, 21 games. He's had a full week's training with Leeds already. Bataka did all right for me at Middlesbrough, but I just wonder if he will opt for a player that obviously they're very keen on keeping and has a lot of championship experience, unlike Bataka, and whether they throw him in. That's assuming that he keeps Stuart Dallas in the side. Of course, he might go with Bataka and with Buckley, but I would see him making his debut against Birmingham.
And then at the other end of the pitch, Chris Wood missed the Middlesbrough match. We're not entirely sure what's the matter with him. Would you expect him to be back for the Birmingham game?
Yeah, we've never been told officially. I think a lot of people seem to think it might be a hamstring injury of some sort, and he has had a few issues with that. But I don't think there's panic over it, certainly. And I'm speaking to both Rosa and to Massimo Cellino this week. I think he could be back sooner rather than later. My gut feeling is it might be sensible to rest him this weekend with an international break to come, so that you don't miss him for a few more games. But it really does depend on today, Katherine, what the assessment is today and whether they think it feels fit, and how much do they need him as well. I mean, I think without him they're a much poorer side.
What does he do then if Chris Wood isn't fit to play? Antonucci up front by himself doesn't work for me. So what does he do? Particularly given they're at home, they need to be creating more chances, and they really need a win at Elland Road.
They do. I mean, it's a long, long time since we've seen a victory at Elland Road, isn't it? So I think to play to Antonucci's strength, he loves it into his feet. He's got great, quick feet, hasn't he? But the longer the game goes on and they haven't scored, the more you see him dropping down, trying to fetch the ball himself. They've got to really pass the side to death. But the thing is, they did create chances at Middlesbrough. They did, and even Mowat had a chance, Pollock goal from free kick. So it suggests that they were creating more in the final third, but it's the quality of chances too, and it's not going to be a Chris Wood type chance that they can create, is it? You're not going to see someone hopefully flying in with a header from somewhere or having to create a chance himself. They really have got to work that ball into Antonucci if he goes with them. And to be honest, I think there's very little option other than maybe a rejuvenated Dakara who did well for the 21s, but didn't look great, did he, last Saturday when he came on, last Sunday when he came on at Borough?
And you have to say Irwin, although people are clamouring to see what he can do, doesn't really seem to be in the picture either. So it just shows they are quite short on options up front if Wood isn't fit.
It is, and if you go away from them, you look at Lewis Walters, clearly he's not a Chris Wood, and he's not been on the scene really. And Irwin, much as he thinks that a loan spell would do him good, clearly speaking to Cellino this week, he says, no, why would I do that at this point? I want to see him grow. He's one for the future. So unless he throws him in and there's him a go. But I don't see it. I think you'd have to go with Antonucci on his own in the absence of Wood.
What do we make of Birmingham? They've had a good start to the season. The main threats for them in the form of Demarai Gray, who's got a lot of pace, and Clayton Donaldson, 4 goals, 4 assists for him so far this season. Yeah,
Gray came on last year, as I recall, in the 1-1 draw and really tore Leeds to pieces for a bit, and Leeds did well to hang on there under Redfern and got that important point with Mowat's goal. However, he hasn't scored this season, so maybe his finishing is an issue. But he is he can terrorise the defence. Donaldson, is their top scorer, but with 4, he's no better than Chris Wood, if you like, in that sense. However, they get goals from all over, and for a reason they're 5th now. Won a midweek at Brentford. Hopefully, that's taken a little bit out of them. But Gary Rowett, it's not just this season, but when he came in last season, when they were in a desperate stakes, when they got beat 8 in one game after Lee Clark had gone. He has done very well with Birmingham, and they're looking like real contenders this season for me. This is a toughie.
Yeah, tough game. Birmingham decent away from home as well. They've won 4 of their last 6 away games. Other things to just touch on this week, which we'll discuss a lot more ahead of kick-off at Elland Road with yourself and Noel. Firstly, you've been talking to Massimo Cellino this week. A couple of things coming out of that conversation. Seems to be trying to patch things up a little bit with Sam Byram after some of his comments to you.
Yeah, a lot more conciliatory than he was with other media outlets where, he did give Sam a hammering. But I think the underlying thing is, he says, look, the contract's secondary. He needs to start playing well again, and then things will sort themselves out. I don't want to sell my best players, he says. He was quite clear about that. Sam has potential. Well, to be fair, he's realised a lot of potential already. For me, he has got Premier League quality. I still get the feeling that nothing's going to be resolved very soon at all. But he's right in one thing, Sam has to start playing well again, and I hope he's got himself in a situation where he can do that again too. He's a great lad. He loves the club to stand by him, and didn't deserve the comments that were made last week, but certainly he seems to have calmed down a bit this week, does Massimo.
And also finally interesting hearing him talking about Uwe Rosler. If anybody's starting to think, oh, we've only had 2 wins so far this season, could the axe be set to fall? Clearly, from what he said to you this week, it doesn't look like it. He seems to have got a very good relationship and thinks very highly of Uwe Rosler.
He does. He says the thing he said about him is that he's very professional. He loves his players like I do. He puts a lot of pressure on himself, blames himself too much. He says he needs to breathe and relax a little bit. But I think he likes that work ethic too. So, and if I had my choice again, he said, I would pick him again. So yeah, he's definitely behind Uwe Rosler at this point.
Lots of things to discuss. As always, Leeds fans, you can join in the debate with us when we're on air, which will be around about 2:15 this weekend, ahead of the 3 o'clock kickoff. But if you'd like to get involved, you can send us text messages, 81333, start those with WYS. You can tweet us too at WYS Daily. We'll be on 92.4 FM and Freeview channel 719. And you can keep an eye on the Leeds United live blog as well, which is always worth following. We put lots of photos on there, lots of your comments. Follow the match as it unfolds. Get involved. Basically, bbc.co.uk/Leeds, and that'll be up and running from about 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon as well. So Leeds United against Birmingham City, exclusive FM commentary on BBC Radio Leeds. Join us from around about 2:15 on West Yorkshire Sport on BBC Radio Leeds.